So let's talk about the companion piece to Sometime Anywhere, and it is Somewhere Else by the Church. A 7-track mini album I would say, on its own. And you got that when you bought the original on CD, which I used to have, but I don't have it anymore. So I'm not going to race out and spend a fortune just to hold it up like this to get it on CD again. I'm going to show some prudence. But it's a great little companion piece as well, and I highly recommend it to you if you see it in your travels. I wish it had been re-released on the vinyl. Now, the first song up is called Drought, and this one is not on streaming services as far as I know. It's certainly not on YouTube Premium because they moved it over to Priest Equals Aura for the remastered version of that. But what can I tell you about this song? It does have Richard Ploog playing on it, and that is kind of cool. I hate to be a pain about it, but I love Richard's drumming, and we've got all the percussion with the bongos that are going on as well. Drives it, and it's a fantastic song to start off a mini EP album. It's a 1-chord slam, but you know what they do with that 1 chord for me is better than most bands can do, and I really think it would be great if this song got more prominence in it as well. Next up, well, we all know what the significance of the words, the title, the time being is. And if you don't know and you're new to it, that is the name of Steve Kilby's blog, which is getting less attention from what I've been told than his Instagram account, and that makes perfect sense. But right out of the gate, this song sounds like classic church with the driving propulsion, almost has a sense of shadow cabinet as well. Not quite as sort of fast and what's the word for it, electronic, but still absolutely classic church. And you got Marty playing all of these guitars with swirling delays and just absolutely drenched in reverb and delay. And if you're missing a bit of this from Marty, then here's a great opportunity for you to catch up with it. Highly recommended this song. Then we sort of go into a slower section with You Can Leave Your Clothes On. But do not be deceived, because we're about to unleash the hounds of psychedelic hell on us with this brilliant acidic psychedelic guitar line from Marty, down, 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 and that's underpinned by the chords and the bass just changing and shifting and going ever upwards. Absolutely incredible. The delays that are all over these guitars are just superb. It's just swirling and whirling everywhere. I really love the incessant drone in the lyrics, and this song ticks all the boxes as far as I'm concerned. Now, who can enlighten me perhaps about what are those voices that we hear right down in the mix towards the end? Is it their voices? Is it pre-recorded? I'm just not sure, but whatever it is, I absolutely love them. This song is all about acid space rock, and it's superb. It's like swirling spirits that soar towards psychedelic heavens. Incredible. And the lyrics as well: lords and priests and talking beasts, golden calves and telepaths, crystal skulls and screaming gulls, women glowed, tattooed with woad. I'm thinking, what's woad? I've never heard it before. Anyway, it is a yellow-flowered European plant of the cabbage family. Well, now I know what woad's all about. And again, Martin Russell on the keys really adds some great textures and lines as well. It's fantastic. And next up is Cut in Two, which is this psychedelic, swashbuckling, trippy mix. And it's like they're throwing everything into the pot, pun intended, except for including the kitchen sink. Maybe this album could be called The Kitchen Sink, or even I like the Kitchen Stink. Or maybe they throw across the room all the shite you can and see what sticks. The Shite That Sticks could be the name of the song. Here's the Church with their new album, The Shite That Sticks. And thank God they did, because we've got all these great songs and the band continuing as a result of this. Steve sings on this, and Marty gets his vocal interjections coming in as well. And there's a sense of cohesion, and that moves on to The Myths You Made. More puns again, not to be confused by the supercharged song, The Mess You Made. But sometimes I feel as though we are getting into Pun City, and there's a propensity for more puns over at the top. But this is a song which Marty dominates and is really cool. I think this is one of his best vocals ever on a church album. Sometimes also think with his writing that he has these ideas. You get song puzzles. We get 3 different ideas, put them together, and see what happens when you do. I really like the verse feel. I love the bridging section. I would love a little less of the chorus, but that's just me. Anyway, it's another song too, which could use a little bit of a trim from these sessions. And that brings us into Freeze to Burn, which was recorded in Stockholm with Martin Rossel on keys again. And it begins with this really effective sound of a car alarm going off. And then we get these Happy Monday, Jesus Jones sort of Manchester drums come in and everything's cool. Kilby comes over the top with this really disconnected vocal. Everything's fine. Love it. It's almost like he's singing through a loudhailer. And what he's singing here and the way he's doing it reminds me a lot of Priest equals Aura, like freeze till you burn, burn till you freeze. An enemy always equals an adorer, priest equals aura, but that type of thing. And then this amazing maelstrom of psychedelic guitars and sound effects, which is nicely juxtaposed with the vocal. And great lyrics as well. People think they're dreaming, they're really wide awake. I did it for the money and for goodness sake. Meet me in the igloo with a factual glaze. Help me to decipher the shadow of this maze. And we finally come to the end of this mini album, this companion album with Macabre Tavern. And I think with this song, imagine if Day of the Dead was at 45 and you played it at 33. That's kind of what you'd get. It's a really cool riff from Steve and Marty, but it seems to be a song which is going somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure where it's going, and it may go somewhere else. I like the spoken vocals that appear. They're pretty cool. And a little freaky song. It doesn't really, as I said, go anywhere, but it's a nice closer for a bonus disc. So there we have it. That's the end of Sometime Anywhere and Somewhere Else. They'll start to call me Fithen soon for doing this all in one day. It is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And, over both albums, there's so much experimentation, lots of stylistic devices going in there. Yet, sure, too much probably went into the pot, and we could have taken a bit back. I think Robert Lurie talks about that in his book by choosing Dare to Beat, the producer or the co-producer here, maybe inhibited it from him to say, no, guys, pull back a little. But still, it's a great document of its time, this entire album, and I thoroughly recommend it to you. I've got an enormous amount of pleasure listening to it again over the times that I have. And remember that if music of any style, shape, substance, or freeze to burn gives you pleasure, then who am I to argue with your opinion? I've done a whole bunch of church reviews. You can find them right there. And I really thank you if you've come with me on this journey, this marathon. Really thank you for hanging in there, and I hope you're doing really well, staying cool, and bye now.